The biggest game in domestic football is heading our way this weekend as Leeds United take on Southampton in what is the Championship playoff final. Both teams have had excellent seasons in getting to the playoffs and even getting to the playoff final. Both teams had a massive gap over 5th and 6th place in the league, and it shows in the quality that they're able to put out on the pitch. Now, Ipswich Town were the only team able to breach the parachute payment bunch as they secured automatic promotion. But who is going to win in this Leeds vs Southampton game to get themselves back into the big time and back to the Premier League? So here we have it, Leeds United versus Southampton on the 26th of May. 4 days time from when I'm recording this, 3 days time from when I post this video, and what a massive game it is going to be. I think it's absolutely massive, and with myself coming into the Championship as a Derby County fan, whichever team goes up is a bonus for us because it's another team without parachute payments. Now, it's going to be really interesting looking into this game because both teams have played each other twice this season, and it hasn't quite gone one team's way, but which team that is, we'll get into later in the video. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner to stay tuned for all my latest football and EFL content. I do have a Formula 1 channel if that's something that interests you. The link will be down in the description. But we do have some early injury news, and that is Southampton have 3 players out in Bazunu, Larios and Armstrong, and Leeds United have 2 out in Sturrock and Bamford, and they can be some big misses for both sides. Obviously, Armstrong is quite high up in Southampton's charts. And Patrick Bamford, he was an England international at one point and he played for Derby. So I have to give him his praise. Now, do I think he's excellent? Probably not. But he's got ability, especially at Championship level. He's fairly decent at Premier League standard too. So it's going to be really interesting to see how both teams carry out this game. We all know the style of football that Russell Martin likes to play, likes to keep hold of possession and really wear down the opposition in a pressing standpoint. He always wants to be able to be on the ball so that the opposition can come and sort of really run at you and really sort of try and press you off the pitch. But hopefully for Southampton, they're able to break through those pressing opportunities and put themselves in good positions to score goals. But if we do now go on to those 2 fixtures that I was talking about previously, Southampton have got the better of Leeds twice this season, collecting 6 points against them. And if Leeds had just picked up one of these wins, I believe they would have ended up in the Premier League automatically. I can't remember what the gap was between Leeds and Ipswich, but that does not matter now. Southampton has scored 5 against Leeds this season. Leeds have only scored twice, but the big difference now is who can handle the big stage. Obviously, Wembley is a lot different to St Mary's, and it's a lot different to Ellen Road. Ellen Road can be bouncing at times, but if Leeds are struggling, it definitely is not bouncing. And Southampton, what a squad of players they have. And the same with Leeds. It's mega to see these types of players playing in the Championship, but it also really sort of disheartens the competition. You've got like Joel Peru, who came from Swansea City. What a player he is. But then you look at the other players in the Leeds United team with Somerville, Archie Gray, Patrick Bamford, William Nont. But then you look at the other players in Leeds United's team. It's not just Joel Peru. You've got Somerville. You've got so many good players in that Leeds side. Ethan Ampadu. And you even go over to the Southampton side. They've got the likes of Che Adams, Kyle Walker-Peters, Taylor Harwood-Bellis. What players they have at their disposal heading into this fixture. Now, if we do take a look at both teams' previous 5 games, they've both lost 2, drew 1 and won 2. And it's really interesting to see that final day of the season, Southampton were able to get the better of Leeds United. And I do think that gives them a bit of a mental edge heading into this playoff final, especially taking 6 points against the team you're playing in the final. It really does give you a little bit of an edge going into the game, but it's really important that the squad and the players of Leeds United do not overthink it. They don't go back and watch too many clips from the game. It's important to go and assess where you went wrong in those games, but it's also mega important to focus on yourselves and make sure that you're able to do what you can do. Now, Leeds United beat Norwich 4-0 after taking a draw at Carrow Road. And what what a performance it was from Leeds United. Watching the game, mega performance from Leeds. But you can also say the same about Southampton in their second leg. Both teams got the draw away from home and did the business at home. But what's going to happen at Wembley? It's a massive occasion. We've seen with Leeds United, they lost 4-0 to QPR just 3 games ago. And they conceded 3 to Middlesbrough as well in a game where ultimately that win wasn't easy for them. And you see Southampton, they've lost 5-0 to Leicester and 1-0 to Stoke City. So there's obviously weaknesses in these sides, and it's about which team can exploit them the best. Obviously with Southampton, they go in with the confidence of beating Leeds twice. But what do Leeds go in with? Obviously, they finished higher than Southampton in the division. They've come off the back of 2 clean sheets in a row, scoring 4 goals against Norwich at Ellen Road. But how are they going to look at these 2 games? I think it's massively important for the coaching staff of Leeds and the coaching staff of Southampton to focus on their own game and what they want to do. And I think for Southampton, that's something they'll definitely do. Russell Martin has that sort of mentality where he sticks to his principles no matter what. And it'll be interesting to see how Leeds come out and play. And for me, they've got the players to play their way if that is what they want to do. Now, let's take a look into some of the danger men in this Leeds United team, because some of the players they have should be playing at Premier League level. You look at Somerville at the top there with 19 goals and 9 assists in the Championship this season. What a season he has had. For me, I'm surprised he wasn't picked up by anybody when they came down. But obviously, coming off the back of a relegation season, sometimes it's difficult to pick up those players because a club, especially the size of Leeds, are going for back straight up to the Premier League, and that is what they're doing so far. So Somerville staying has really sort of helped them with that, with his contributions this season. 28 contributions for him. Daniel James, 13 goals and 7 assists. What a season he has had. 20 goal contributions, and for me, is another player who should not be playing at Championship level. And to be honest with you, I think his numbers are a lot lower than I anticipated them to be, but he's had a brilliant season. Will he be able to carry that into Wembley? That is something that we do not know at this point. And obviously, you've then also got the likes of Joel Peru and Jorginho Ruta, who's had 21 goal contributions this season. Joel Peru, I think, is on 20 or 19 or something around that. And what a season those 2 players have had, popping up with really important goals and really important assists at really important times. We do look at the 3 ratings on the bottom right. The top 3 players for Leeds are Somerville, Ruta and Ethan Ampadu, and what a signing Ampadu has been. Now, never really cut the mustard at Chelsea, but he really has shown that he is a very capable player at this level. I think he was unfortunate in some of the loan spells that he had where he was at really bad teams, and there's only so much you can do as a good player at a bad team, and I think that's something which people need to take into account. And I really do feel like Ethan Ampadu has found a home at Leeds. Is he going to be able to make that step up to the Premier League? That is obviously something which Leeds are going to find out over the next few weeks, if they do get to the Premier League, that is. But shall we now take a look at Southampton and look at some of the names on their list, the likes of David Brooks, Ryan Fraser, Che Adams, Adam Armstrong, Stuart Armstrong. They've got some mega players in that Southampton team, identical to Leeds really, in a sense of a lot of these players could do a job at Premier League level. But the problem Southampton have is they didn't have enough players who could do a job at Premier League level, hence the relegation. Now, for me, Kyle Walker-Peters is a Premier League fullback in waiting, really. He should be playing at that level, playing at this level. It's really, in my opinion, probably stopped him having an opportunity at the Euros, because if he'd have put that performance in, this season's worth of performances in the Premier League, he'd definitely be in with a shout. Obviously, Adam Armstrong, 34 goal contributions this season, 21 goals and 13 assists. Che Adams, 16 goals and 4 assists. What seasons they've had, the front pair. Adam Armstrong is a player who I've always thought has looked really good. He obviously got his move a few seasons ago. It didn't quite go to plan straight away in the Premier League, but he really hit the ground running this season and really got himself arguably one of the best players in the league. And what a season he has had. What a season Che Adams has had. I do believe Che Adams is leaving at the end of this season, at the end of his contract. And what a season to leave on. But can they make the difference going into the playoff final? They're two players, in my opinion, who definitely can. You obviously then got Ryan Fraser with 6 goals. And I think he's a fairly decent player. But for me, that big discrepancy in goals, it reminds me of a team in League One called Stevenage. And they had one player on 23 and then everybody else was on like 4 or 5 goals. And I always think those teams always end up struggling because you're relying so much on 2 specific players. But they do have quality within their squad. And in the midfield, they have a player called Flynn Downs. He got his move to West Ham not a couple of years ago, I think it was. And he did really well to start off with at West Ham, but then just couldn't keep himself in the side, which is then why he found himself with a move to Southampton on loan this season, where I think he's been absolutely pivotal to the way this Southampton side have gone. You've also got Smallbone, the Southampton Academy product, who will be hoping to get his side back to the Premier League as an academy graduate. That is something that you cannot sniff at. And you go back a few weeks to some of the teams that have already got promoted. Ipswich have some academy graduates in their side. Leicester City, I believe they had a couple in their side. And then you've also got teams lower down the order within the likes of League One and League Two who have academy products all over the shop, helping getting their team promoted. And you can see what it means to those players to get promoted. And for me, this is a massive, massive opportunity for both of these sides. Whatever happens, I think whichever side loses has the best opportunity to go up next year. I think the 3 relegated sides maybe aren't quite up to the level of these sides. And I think if Southampton were in the Premier League this season, I think they'd have stayed up. Same with Leeds. Same with Leicester, really. Ipswich, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if their players would have been able to do that step, but they've really done well in the Championship. So it's going to be really interesting to see what is going to happen on this final game of the season, the biggest match of the season. Which of these players is going to step up? You need to let me know your thoughts down in the comments, but shall we make a brief prediction of this game? Now, for me, I think it's going to be a very, very tight affair. 2 very, very good sides. And we've seen in both games between Leeds and Southampton before, there's only a couple of goals to settle it in each game. I do think that the game is going to end up with a 3-1 win. But which side is it going to be? I think it's going to be Southampton. Personally, my personal opinion, I think Southampton are going to control the game. I think it's going to be a bit edgy. I think they're going to get hit on the counter a few times, but I think Southampton are going to make a real step. I think they're going to score early on, which is going to put Leeds on the back foot. And I think they're going to get another one just before half-time. And then I think it's going to be an edgy second half where Leeds score early and it's sort of really end-to-end for a bit. And then Southampton pick up a goal around the 75th minute to just calm everything down and take home a 3-0 win at Wembley Stadium to get themselves back into the Premier League. Now, I have previewed this game, so if you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button down below, like the video, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Who do you think is going to come out on top of this Championship playoff final? It's going to be an absolutely massive one to keep your eyes on, so do make sure you do that. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel for my Championship playoff final review, which will be coming out probably Sunday evening after the game is played, but do make sure you check that out when it comes out, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.